I participated in the New Student Dialogue Crossing Borders, which talked about um, stereotypes and just how we view, how we as Americans view others around the world, other religions, other cultures, other ethnicities, and um, just what our perception of their cultures is and how it varies um, from person to person. Um, I thought that our group did a good job of um, just really getting into dialogue and not arguments or one-sided discussions. We had very interesting conversations that took both sides of the stereotype debate, like um, whether sometimes stereotypes are true to us, and others thought that stereotypes were always wrong to use and that we should always just go on a person-to-person basis and really get to know people. So I thought we did a good job at keeping it as more of a dialogue and discussion than a one-sided argument. There were a lot of active voices in our dialogue. I thought it helped that we did a sort of get-to-know-you game to start this dialogue session. Doing the connections game was, I think, helpful. It helped sort of ease the tension in the room by showing that we all have some sort of connection, whether doesn't matter where we come from or where we've been or just where we're from in general, but we've all got some sort of connection. So yeah, that definitely made it a little easier to talk in the room. But I think even before that, there were a lot of active voices in the room that were willing to open up about how they felt about other cultures and other people from different countries. We had a couple people. We had a boy who's from Korea and a girl who's from somewhere in Europe. And they sort of explained their stories about how moving to this country and how they started. Well, especially the guy from Korea, he was somewhat discriminated against, looked at differently, talked to differently, just because of where he was from. And so he really opened up about just the differences he sees now that he's got a lot of friends and that he goes to an American university. So it's interesting to hear his story about just how people can sometimes just judge a person by just looking at them. So most people were okay with speaking out. There were a few people that sort of just kept their thoughts to themselves, which was all right. We've all shared at one point or another what we wrote down on a paper talking about sort of what we were like growing up, how we viewed our friends growing up, what kind of just sort of looking at the environment that we grew up in. Everyone sort of shared a little bit about that, which was nice. Just the differences that people have showed when they were growing up. I mean, I spoke a little bit in the group, just gave my opinion on how stereotypes can sometimes be useful, or I mean not useful, but sometimes show us what a culture is like just because they have a long history of doing something, or that's what this country or this culture is known for, but just how other times stereotypes really just aren't useful and aren't respectful of other people's lives. But overall, I thought it was a great discussion. I can see why a New Student Dialogue would be a component of the Library 100 class. It connects people from all different backgrounds, all different settings. It's a new way to meet people that I would probably have never met anywhere else on campus as a freshman. And I think it's useful to get other people's opinions and see what other people have to say, because I feel like most of the time we're entitled to our own opinions, but sometimes the only opinion we want to hear is ours, and we don't really uh, get an open look at the rest of the world or just our close friends' opinions. We don't even see those, and so it's nice just to hear what other people had to think, and I enjoyed that. Um, but overall, I thought the new student dialogue was a success for me and for our group. We all, I mean, I guess you could say we became closer, even though we were only together for 2 hours. We had a very thoughtful discussion that I believe was a success, and the new student dialogue was just another step in my freshman journey in college, and I mean, I think it'll help me when I get out of college, just looking for jobs and looking for places to live, just to not automatically assume that people are a certain way because of their background or their culture. And so it's a discussion like that. It's something that can help you for just the rest of your life, become a better person. So the new student dialogue was a great success for me and my group.